So, previously, on Cloudy with a Slight Chance of Dragons, our gods finally started taking action into saving their allies, forming new alliances, maybe even finding some new foes. But it would remain to be seen if the time they have in this timeless space that they find themselves in is going to be any help in their final confrontations. So, as Agratar and Danelan both stand there, figuring out what to do next, they take their glimpse around the endless space of the Fate Weaver's abode. They see him still sitting in a small chair, looking at this giant piece of cloth in front of him, constantly changing the colors and showing different places. Their allies, Chenki and Ashag, are not looking that good, but Jormungandr is doing the best he can, at least half of him. Your god friends, Heraclius, Nearnak, Rubilon, and Ludin, even though he's not exactly godlike at the moment, they're just standing there chatting. The only one who's a bit to the side is Koja. It seems like he still haven't made up his mind about this whole thing and what he's going to do. But it seems like Agratar might have an idea. So, what do you do?
What to begin? So Ludin is... What is Ludin doing?
Well, he's sitting around, mostly trying to comprehend what's happening at the moment. He's one of the few mortals in here at the moment.
Yeah. Since Kojo is a little bit separated, Agratar would approaches him.
Mm-hmm. Alright. He acknowledges.
So,
Yeah.
we still have stuff to do, but what was that about traveling into the void and coming out of it? Only you can manage.
Wow.
Above all things, we have to retrieve the sword at some point.
That could be done, yes. But, once again, I'm not sure why I should do this.
Why not?
Well, not being killed by the All-Father is one thing.
Well, I'm afraid if we don't get the sword, at the end nobody of us has a chance against All-Father at the end.
Yes. So you want me to risk everything in the hopes of maybe finding some sword that may or may not be of use?
Well, we know where it is. And I think it's our best shot against the All-Father. Aside from the support we can get from the other gods.
Define know where it is. Because void is endless. Almost like this place.
Well, at least in the weaving of the great Fate Weaver.
And Agratar gestures towards him.
Yeah.
We know that the sword's in the more of the dragon, and we know where the dragon is. So how hard can it be to find it? If it is visible from outside.
So, you want to get into the maw of the dragon, get your fancy sword, even if it's there, alright, sure, and then somehow get out.
That might sound easier than it is actually. But yes, that's the plan. Somehow. We have to get the sword back. I can't... Well, I don't know how to deal with a white dragon.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it is not that much different from other kinds, but all of them are magical and very powerful. Do you know how old is this one that you're looking for?
Well, he might be the oldest of all. The dragons, maybe.
Well,
if he's from the void might have been there in the beginning of all things.
Well, that's lovely then. He could be even more powerful than us, then.
That could be, I guess.
So what's your plan in getting into him? Do you want to sprinkle yourself with salt and make yourself tasty?
I don't think the white dragon cares.
Thinking about the dragon, Agroda looks around for the other dragons here.
Yes.
Jormungandr over there.
Yes, he is. He's trying to stabilize the wounds of a shag. It looks like he's making some progress.
Yeah, I guess Dan will step in and with some advice. Do you think it will be nice to turn you into a flower, and so the dragon can scoop you in? And the Dylan shows that what is dragon doing right now.
Yes, he was eating flowers, yes.
So
I'm not sure.
coming in is not as it seems to be, but how we can get out? This is the question.
Well, getting into the void was never our problem, right, Dylan?
Yeah.
Well, fun fact. Once again raises his voice Kojo. One of the ways you could get out, it technically is one of the most easier kinds, is if you travel between planes. For example, if you're in the void, one is particularly close, and that is hell. We could go through there. But, of course, there's always a risk that we'll be spotted and, well, the demons would definitely try to do something about that.
Well, we were in hell before. It's actually not so bad down there.
Well,
A little bit wasted, but
if you are mortal, yes, of course. You don't wreak magical energy for thousands of miles around you and attract every demon, especially powerful ones, at the same time. So, yes, being mortals in hell is more convenient. But I doubt you want to be mortals again.
I don't think so.
We can send Luden this way.
everyone looks over to loot. So
Yeah, and he's just like, what? What? Send me where?
To the hell!
What? Why? What did I do to you?
No, he's only joking. We don't send you to hell.
At least for now.
That's not good jokes. Not good jokes, guys. Not at all.
You see, Tamlin, your jokes are not good.
We'll be working on that.
Well, we have time, at least for now.
Yes.
Well, since hell might be a difficult option, it is, but you might be right, Kojo, that we could have some trouble there. But if the Void Dragon is like, at least in some way similar to the others, maybe we could try to argue with him first. Maybe there's a way.
That would be fun to look at.
I'm sure. What do we have? Well, actually, we have lots of to lose, but well, Jormungandr.
Yes?
What do you know about the White Dragon?
The White Dragon? What White Dragon? He probably means the Void Dragon that they were talking about with the sword. Never heard of him. We actually know him. Nope! Well, what he means to say is... I mean to say we don't know him. What? No. Okay, just don't listen to him. His name is Avalon. And he's been there for a very, very long time, and he's a bit of a romantic. Hate my people. What? No, he didn't hate your people. He did! He just ate a few humans that you wanted to eat. But he did it unintentionally. I don't trust him. Anyways... He has a tendency of being carried away while absorbing the view, let's say. He just eats everything. Not necessarily. Yes, he does. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No.
Okay.
Yes.
Please stop it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, in any case, if you manage to attract his attention by something beautiful, and not too beautiful, because he would be overwhelmed and would want to examine it right away. He means eat it. No, examine it. He doesn't eat them, it just gets absorbed. Eats it. No. Yes. No. Yes. No.
Well, at some sort it gets absorbed and he eats it at the same time, right?
It is possible, yes.
Well, and is he reasonable? We talk to him without being eating immediately.
I didn't talk to him in a very long time. I'm not sure. Actually, come to think of it, I haven't seen him for at least 2 millennia. Not sure where he's been.
Oh, he was imprisoned, but Denlin here, he freed him. He's a good guy. He loves animals.
Oh.
And dragons.
Oh. That's great.
Yes, I am.
You suck, Dinglin. Why did you do that? I want to eat, and he's gonna eat everything.
No, he's not.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Well, anyway, we'll see soon, I guess.
Yes. We'll see.
Okay, I can create some kind of attractive piece of nature. What interested in maybe some flower tree of beautiful, but he
Well-
never seen before, probably.
Well, the problem is, we need to sort from him, and if it's still in his maw, a simple distraction won't do it. I mean, we have to maybe ask him first whether he might give it to us and he might want something pretty for it. Maybe. But the problem is, to talk to him we need time. And in the mortal world we can't talk to him, we don't have time. And we can't portal him, we can't teleport him. Here, I guess. If he is that mighty.
I think the simplest plan is to create something beautiful and hide ourselves inside, so it should be soaked in with us. And then we can take a sword and teleport to hell and then quickly teleport here. This is a plan. What do you think?
Well, I'm not sure the easiest way is the best in this case. But I mean, we can try to talk to him. And well, then the All-Father comes and kills us all.
Oh no, bad plan.
Good option.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe we first talk to Neonag and Heraclius to get the support of the other gods. Maybe we can endure the power of the All-Father longer than a moment when we talk to the dragon. Maybe somehow.
I do think you should talk to him.
Might be easier than go to the void and to hell, maybe. And talking to people always helped us in the last years, right?
You spent a lot of time with me. You're talking like me. All days.
Well, but
Okay, we can proceed with my plan first, and if it doesn't work for some reason, he didn't soak us in, we can talk to him.
Yeah, Agatha shrugs, stretches his skin.
Danlon just really wants to get into the void.
Yeah. And then into hell. Maybe he wants his friend, the demon, back, so...
Yeah, you have also some friends in
Yeah.
Demon outside. Oh,
well then,
okay. If you're going to talk, you probably, as a lizard-looking guy, would be more suitable for this conversation.
should we turn invisible maybe first? Maybe we can buy us a little bit time if we are invisible. Invisible. Invisible.
Agatha looks to Yom and Gunnar.
Yes.
We can make us invisible one more time.
Good.
What do you think about the plan, Denlin?
If you're feeling okay, you think you can talk him out to share the sword with us, then it's okay with me.
I guess it's worth a try, so yes.
And
Then,
as a present for him, I can create some attractive flower. At least part of my plan should work.
Sure. So do I breathe on you? Yes? No? Maybe?
No, not as much.
Maybe. Dylan, what do you think about that? You will be invisible, and I turn into the dragon. To dragon form. Maybe this will improve our conversation.
Okay, let's do this.
Jormungandr, how is the relationship of... Well, back in the time, 1,000 years ago, how was the relationship of Erelon with the other dragons? Were there hostilities?
Well, I wouldn't say as much as hostilities. He ate my peoples! No, you didn't. Yes, you did. Okay, just ignore him. Basically, he sometimes managed to consume some things that belonged to other dragons. The younger ones did try to fight him over it. He didn't pay too much mind. Some of them died. Well, it just happened. But others just ignored that on his clumsiness.
Well, in this case, I think we are good to go. Then you're ready for invisibility.
Yeah, I think I am.
So Jormungandr breathes on you, turning you completely invisible. What do you do?
Now I have invisible leaves on me.
Yes, you do.
They're nice.
Yes, they are.
Well, in this case, Ekrota would transforms into his fellow dragon form. At least he tries.
Yay! Let's see.
I actually don't know what I should roll for that, because I've rolled all the outcomes, but
I mean,
not the roll
probably
for
either Constitution or Strength, I think. One of the two.
would make sense, yeah. In this case, I would I roll con. I
Sure.
have to write this down.
Let's do it. You transform into the dragon. Let's see how successful you are. You are successful enough.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
How we can call you now?
Same thing.
Agra looks down from above to you.
I'm still Agradar. I only look different. Dylan, don't be a fool.
And in his dragon form, he smirks, but it might look quite monstrous.
Of course.
And then sees a green glow in his mouth.
So, in this case, let's visit our friend the White Dragon. I mean, Dylan, you freed him. That must have a purpose.
Yeah.
And be ready to teleport.
Yeah, I guess the plan
Teleportation.
is... Yeah, you to talk to the dragon, and I'll give him some nice presents if we find a common ground, and he
I guess.
shares the
Yeah.
sword with you. Okay.
Yeah, let's see about that.
Alright. So, you teleport, yes?
Yeah.
Good. You appear right next to a dragon. He's in the process of consuming another patch of grass. You look to the left, you look to the right. You're not sure what's about to happen, but what do you do?
Great Arelon, I have a task. I have a question. Hear me. Moment of your time.
You see him slightly pause, and he's like, "What? What? Is anyone here?"
Well, Akrita isn't invisible, right?
No.
Okay.
I am here, Great Arelon.
And Akrita, yeah, hovers over in front. He looks right like a dragon still, right?
Yes, yes. You are looking like a dragon. And of the void dragon, yes, he looks like a dragon, only pitch black. Basically, think about the blackest black you ever saw, and then think that it doesn't have any reflections whatsoever.
Yeah, like a hole of nothingness.
Yes. Then the front that you think that's the front of the dragon, it turns to you and is just like, "Oh, it's nice to meet a fellow in here. Are you here to look at the flowers?"
Well, also here. They are very nice, but
Yes,
I
they
have a
are.
question.
Question? What question?
I saw a sword inside you. You might have eaten it.
What? A sword? And he starts basically looking at himself and, "I don't see any swords. Maybe I ate it, but it's not on me."
Maybe you swallowed it. Well, the thing is, it is a piece very dear to me. It was given to me, and I'm searching for it for a long time now. Is there any way you could give it back to us?
If I ate that, and you see the black thing that probably resembles a paw reaches to a black thing that resembles a head, and it's like, right there, I saw. And you see an opening appear, and you see patches of grass floating in nothingness, with blue and white flowers, and amongst them there's the familiar shape. The sword is there.
Oh, right there. You feel it? It's tiny.
I don't feel anything. I think it's the same. But if I manage to eat it, I'm terribly sorry. I do have a difficulty of getting anything out. Always. So I hope you're not going to try to fight me.
No, in no way. I don't have the intention to
Good.
offend you in any way.
Good. I would not like to eat a civilized dragon.
Akrita nods.
Well, Great Arelon, excuse my impoliteness, but could I... It really sounds very dumb from me. Please forgive me, but could I reach for the sword?
I don't think you'd fit.
Is he? How big are we compared to each other?
He's about maybe 2.5 times bigger than you,
Okay.
but not like too big.
Akrita looks at his own dragon paw.
Or am I too clumsy?
I mean, I could open my mouth really wide, but I would probably consume everything in around 100 meters. It would be inconvenient.
And Again, excuse my impoliteness, but you couldn't puke it out.
That's not how it works. And then a couple of moments later,
Yeah.
you see right next to him appear the now familiar to you, a god of human war. His name is Arkeson, you know that. And right next to him is Xeus. They appear in there. Arkeson points a finger at you and says, "Aha! You think pretending to be a dragon is gonna make you look better? You're nothing but a lizard. Come at my level and let's fight. The All-Father would reward me greatly for your head."
Agrota looks at Xeus and
You see the twisting form. And as you speak the word traitor, the face forms on that piece of constantly changing and discoloring paint blob. The face forms there and says, "I'm not a traitor. You've gone mad about that sword. You're going to destroy everyone. I was trying to bring Baron War and destroy it finally. But no, you're going to go to complete madness. I'm going to stop that."
Agrota makes cocks his head.
You're not only a traitor, you're also a coward. And now you die.
And Agrota would use his skill through Death's eyes.
Good. Go ahead and use it.
I roll wisdom.
And we would switch to another thing. I didn't expect you want to kill them, but okay. Let's do this. Death is coming to someone. Let's see who's that someone is.
And I have plus
Yes.
2 additionally.
Good. Just roll it up. I'm
Roll a
sure
14,
we can calculate that. Good, good. So, tell me.
You know
Yes.
the skill or in this case?
Well, basically, you tell me which one dies.
Xeus dies and who lives?
Yes, who lives?
Denland for sure.
Thank you.
Good.
He's still invisible, but you never know.
Good. So, Danelan, you feel that as well. You feel that your friend is about to go ham on the Xeus and maybe the second God of War too, since he's right here and he was challenging Agrota. What do you do? What's your choice, Danelan?
Oh, I try to stop the God of War. Like he
Which one?
Probably wants to charge,
Yeah.
to charge the Agrota while he is busy, quite busy with fighting his skills.
Uh-huh.
So my intention is to stop him, not to kill, but to stop him and probably to talk him after he's calmed a bit.
So you want to stop Agrota, yes?
No. I want to stop human God of War.
Ah, okay. Okay, good. Arkeson, good. You want to stop Arkeson. Good, good. Alright, so let's do it. You try to attack Xeus. Of course, he disperses into invisibility and tries to do something while he does that. you tell me, Agritar, how you're going to hunt him down and destroy him. While you, Daneland, you tell me how you use your invisibility in order to prance on Arkeson that tries to smite the side of a giant dragon Agritar with a big, big two-sided axe.
I think that I grow up for strongest, biggest roots from within the land up. He's floating or above the land, right?
He is, yes.
The ground.
Yes, he is floating.
Rise up and catch him. Fine.
Okay. Magical roots summoned by Daneland. Obviously, he did not expect that. And that would be enough to give a couple of moments to Agritar. Agritar, what do you do? How do you want to find and destroy Xeus?
I mean, I shouldn't need to, because I only have the vision that he dies and he should die.
I know, you should. I'm just saying, are you going to do anything about that? Yes or no?
Yeah, good question. He turns invisible, right?
Yes.
Since Ekta is at least some kind of new to his regained godhood again, he's not quite sure whether his power here works somehow, so he throws the hammer at the spot where he was right at that moment.
Okay, so somewhere on a giant belly of a dragon, you pick up a small hammer and you throw it with one of your giant paws. That is definitely unexpected. Nobody expected that from a dragon. Probably, if you could see the face of the Void Dragon Zavalon, he would probably be impressed. Like, damn! I did not expect that!
That was totally the plan here.
So, a giant hammer flies into a general direction of where Xeus is. The sparkles branch through, scorching the earth and the grass. Couple of them touch something invisible as it tries to move away from the position. You understand that he's moving slightly at a curve, trying to move probably to flank you. Meanwhile, Arkeson starts to slash at the roots madly and yell to the air. It's just like, reveal yourself, fool! I'm going to slash you to pieces as well!
I'm growing roots again and again, and they're trying to put him on the ground first, and then cut him.
Alright. So you're using the same tactics. Not the good thing against the god of war. So when you start growing roots again, he starts laughing and cackling as his body starts to become more and more ethereal-like, and he teleports out of them and reaches to the ground, where he just puts his giant two-sided axe on the ground, and an earthquake starts shaking everything around. Like, the ground just goes. Also, it shakes you, Daneland, a little bit. What do you do?
I guess I use this ground shaking to and empower it with my own magic. So this ground rises and strikes him from both sides, like flash.
Okay. Okay, you want to use elemental mastery, yes?
Yes.
Let's see that. Let's roll for it. Elemental mastery coming right up. Don't mess it up. Come on.
Double ones.
Yeah, this is ground. This is not air, which is +1. Okay. This is wisdom, I guess, right? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It looks like it works.
Yeah.
Huh? Andrew? Are you here?
I can't hear you if you're saying something.
Oh, well.
Oh, there you are.
Yes, I'm here. It's fine. Don't worry about me. Fun fact, I still want to hear Daneland tell me what kind of a bad thing he chooses for that. Because I don't remember the Earth being your one best element, was it?
I have +1 with air, and all the other just...
Yes, exactly. So, you tell me one bad thing. Basically, either it goes out of control, or you pay the price, or something you wanted does not happen. What's your choice? Yes.
Your call.
Now maybe,
Complete.
go out of control.
Sure.
Just a little bit.
All right. Going
Yeah.
out of control. Let's see. Let me think. God casts elemental mastery and it goes out of control. Let me think. So, what you do is you basically crush the guy with the amount of earth that's around. Like, the rocks form out of blue, just like coalescing themselves into sharp things that pierce his flesh and condense him in a tiny, tiny space. All the ground around you erupts in a giant earthquake that goes waves around the earth. It basically puts Agritar to the ground. You and your panther are flipped into the air, where you hear the curses from the invisible Xeos as he sees all the things on the ground basically turn themselves over. The ground basically flips over, and where the grass was, now there's open earth. Where the trees were, now there's more rocks and roots stuck in about. And it goes for miles and miles around. You see somewhere in the distance, there is a town. And within a couple of seconds, that town is buried.
And in a split second, on the floor, you see a little spot where grass is and a little squirrel looking scared at you then before it is smushed by rocks.
Yes. Yes. Meanwhile, Agritar, you're being knocked down by this powerful wave. What do you do?
Is this wave? Is this a wave Denon caused somehow, or?
Yes. It is
okay.
the wave Daneland caused.
What was I thinking about a moment ago? Oh, right. And the Arcason is buried at the moment.
At the moment, yes.
In this case, I want to cover the whole area where Xeos might have been with green fire.
Okay.
Fly a little bit up and then
Fly up
breathe fire.
and breathe out the green fire. All of that is completely covered in weird and twisting flames. As you, Daneland, you hear the shaky voice of Arcason as the ground around him starts to crackle, and he's just like, "Don't you forget, fool? We're gods. We can't be killed. And he breaks off the shackles of earth that you formed around him. All of it is just like a whole bunch of crackled earth flying about. Like some of it may even like fall on you. Like, do you do anything, Dalen?
You're still standing on the ground.
I just stand and watch.
You stand and watch. Okay. You stand there and watch firmly as a piece of dirt kind of just goes straight to your face, and Arkeson just loudly cackles and just like, ha ha ha! Now I see you, you elven fool! And he starts running towards you. As he's about to just get to you, you clear your face, you see him, and then a moment later he's just like 10 meters away. Your panther basically pounced at him and is just constantly just beating him with his giant paws. And she's just like, get off me, you giant cat! Get off me!
Nice.
Meanwhile, you hear you hear the void dragon Zavalon is saying, I feel something is in my teeth. It's weird. Very weird.
Does Egroda hear that?
Yes, everybody hears that.
Help him!
In the same moment, Ekra forgets completely about Ascalon and where Xeos might have been or what's happening to him.
Yeah.
And turns to Erlen.
Oh, can I help you?
I'm not sure. It feels like I don't know, like a very weird sour milk. It's weird. I don't see it, but I'm sure it's around my mouth.
If you open it, maybe I can tell it.
Sure, but I'm afraid it's gonna get even further. Sure, go ahead, take a look. And he opens his maw, and you see basically it opens wide enough for you to even like put your head inside. So what you see is once again patches of grass flowing about. You see the shape of the sword. What do you do immediately?
I should.
5.
I create
4,
a void race with the
3.
quest to fetch the sword. Bring the sword.
Okay. Good. Good. You create the void rave in the void. His quest is to fetch the sword and give it to you.
Yeah.
You
I'm
see.
not sure it works, but
Yes, yes. You create the void rave. It looks like it just picks up the sword, and it starts moving. Like you see the sword moving, but then you see his shape kind of form, and it looks weird. Like a whole thing is kind of engulfed in something, and then it's just crushed. And you see Xeos holding the sword.
no. Inside the
Yes.
Where is he now?
Yes, yes,
Inside the void
inside.
dragon.
Yes, inside the void dragon. He is inside the void dragon. Now, Danelan,
I am still punching,
fun fact.
and my panther is...
Your panther is not a god. Fun fact. It's a very powerful spirit. but it's about to be chopped in half by a god. So, what do you do?
Oh, I'll definitely fight on my own. This is godlike, not so good.
What?
Yeah, I recall my panther while trying to fight on myself.
Sure. Your panther pounces off, as well as Arkeson. He pounces almost as fast as your panther. He jumps next to you. He slashes his two-sided axe at you. What do you do?
I turn it so it comes to the side and then punch him into the face.
Good. Turn it to the side with all your dexterity. He's just like, ha-ha! You can't get to me! Ha-ha! Yes, he can't. You just throw it to the side. And then you punch him. How do you punch him? Do you punch him with your strength? Or do you just, like, make several concentrated punches with your dexterous movements?
I think I can try to do as much punches as I can per second. So,
Good. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do it. Do it. Let's see that happen. All right.
Not bad.
You punch him several times. He releases his two-sided axe, and then he basically just crushes you with embrace. And you hear your leaves start to be crumbled below the weight and the power of his crushing embrace. He's grappling you completely, and it's just like, I'm gonna squeeze all the nature out of you! So, meanwhile, Egrata, as you see Xios holding the sword inside the void, what do you do? Yes?
Egrata is a little bit shocked. How he can be there overall. I think in this.
So, you don't do anything. Great. You see Xios start making arcane symbols inside. He's making something. He's making ink glow with bluish light. And it forms a runic sigil of sorts. What do you do, Egrata? Looks like he's got everything covered. Looks like everything's good. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? He's got your sword. What are you gonna do?
Tell Void Dragon to eat this thing.
So,
Egrata flies in the direction. What is the Void Dragon doing?
he's just like, mouth open, and just like, don't say anything. Yes.
You have a very ugly, disgusting thing in your mouth. You don't want to be seen with that. Swallow it. Eat it.
Well, if it's already in, it's already in. I can't do anything about that.
It's moving and it's ugly.
It happens. It looks like it's not a new thing for him, so he doesn't care. But yes, Xios is finishing the runic sigil, and you see a portal forming up. So what do you do? You're still staring in the void, looking as how Xios is going to make his way out with your sword.
Egrata shouts very loud,
Hold still, I get rid of it.
and he throws the hammer at Xios. The portal.
Okay.
I have no idea what I'm dealing with here.
Okay.
Looking at this with the side sight, I think Dandon tried
God.
to close to the tears.
You
And
managed
take
to
the
roll a
sword.
partial on
Yes.
strength.
I did. Yeah.
Oh boy, oh boy. All right, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean,
Interesting.
shit.
I didn't want to do it. I did not.
Well, he can't die, so.
You sure?
I mean, I don't know how the skill works, but I had a success on it, so that might be worth. Has to be
Okay.
worth something.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
till now
So
nobody dies, so at least
I know how it
somebody
happens.
lives.
I know how it happens. So your giant hammer is being thrown in the side of this thing. You see just moments as fractions and fractions of a second are going in your head. You have this just looming tension of moments as your hammer goes closer and closer to Xeos's form, and he's about to enter the portal. And then you see as your hammer kind of squishes in him, he almost bounces off a little bit. You see him for a moment, for just a mere moment, lose control of the sword as he collects himself and throws your hammer to the side. The hammer flies towards the portal. He reaches to the sword, but the sword has been twisted on the other end, and instead of touching the handle, he touches the blade. You see his hand shiver as he's being almost like shocked by something. You're not sure what it is. It's just a tiny moment. And then you see as if the life essence itself goes from him and is sucked into the sword. And then there's a moment of spark. Just a giant, almost supernova spark that pierces your eyes. You would be completely blinded or even eviscerated if you weren't a god. The next thing you see is the sword flying away, ripping off the membrane of the void and going through outside of Zevlon's mouth. And you see the shackled and corroded form of Xeos getting close to the portal. You see the flames beyond it, and you understand that was the portal to hell, as several tiny grabby paws yank to him and grab him inside. The sword flies past you. You try to move your hands, but you were not that fast, even with all your godlike abilities. You look to the side where the sword is traveling, and this is a moment of understanding. The sword is going straight to Danelan. It's going to pierce him through the heart. You see that as the moments between moments are looming, and you trying to maybe even scream something, but you know that your voice is not going to reach him in time. Then you see his shape kind of turn to the side as Arkeson is grappling him. And the sword is basically slashing through both of them, but most of it stops in Arkansas. And Daneland, how much health do you have?
20.
Roll me a d20.
Only have 20 health?
Yeah.
Roll me a d20. Okay.
Wow.
That's how much health you lost. Arkansas, however, the blade is stopped within him, and you see he's just sudden realization. You both, you and Damon, are almost familiar with the sense of pain and mortality. But it looks like Arkason is completely flabbergasted by the notion. A moment passed, and he's almost releasing Dalen out of his grasp, as you see the same kind of thing happen. The glow that was completely covering his shape, that godly power, it's getting sucked into the blade. And once again, there's this giant spark and an explosion. You blink again, hard and weighty. You open your eyes and you see that the sword is flying towards you.
To me?
Yes. What do you do?
Catch it.
Wait, one sec. Ekra goes back to Ekra form and summons his flying warhorse to not fall to the ground to catch the sword.
You summon a what?
Oh,
My pet.
Ah,
My
good,
Yeah.
good. So, I mean, not to rain on your parade, but what's it gonna be catching it with?
Oh.
What?
I
mean,
think Agrota is trying to catch his sword while he's flying down to his horse.
The plan is to change back to Agrota form to have useful hands to
I
take
get
the
it.
sword, and to not fall to the ground, he would try to summon his warhorse to not fall to the ground.
Oof, oof. Okay, okay.
Or,
A lot
I
of
mean,
things.
Can he fetch the sword as a dragon? I don't know. It might be quite tiny.
So, you want to transform, then summon a thing, ride it, and then catch a sword.
If he's not able to catch the sword in dragon form, I don't know whether it's too small for that.
Okay, okay. You can transform if you want. You'd still have time to do something after you do it. But everything else would take too long.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So go ahead. Tell me, what do you do?
In this case, Makotar might realize that for his plan, there's not enough time with the sword flying to him. He will simply try to catch it in dragon form somehow to get a hold of it.
All right. Let's see the dexterity.
Yeah.
And I would want you to roll a 12 for everything to be good.
Dragon dexterity.
That might.
As Dragon Claw is reaching towards the handle of the sword.
Might
Let's
go
see.
horribly wrong.
Let's see if you're fast enough.
Not as wrong as I
Oh
thought.
my.
But
Denlan tries to help him.
All right, how do you help him, Dalen?
Well, this sword.
To the left, Agrita.
No. I guess Ammon's his sword crashing through him and taken a lot of pain.
Yes.
So this he still tried to use his body to guide the sword towards where the Agrita is, so he can catch it.
So
easily.
basically, you would want to just push it tiny bit as it flies away from you. So it would start.
Trajectory of the sword.
It would just start spinning, and it wouldn't hit Agrita with the blade.
Yeah.
All right. Dexterity would help. Let's see if it does. Yes. Finally.
Yeah, we can do
The tension is broken.
Shit.
As you see Agrita catching the sword with his dragon claw, transforming back into his normal self. You see him just, like, reach for that sword. You are wounded, Dalen. Your panther's right next to you. Zavalon is amazed by what just happened. And when you hear the thunder erupt out of nowhere.
Yep. Was overdue.
And Agrita, you hear a familiar voice. Finally. Now, can we just go on and kill that old father?
I'm not sure we are ready for this.
Oh, yes, we are. I can kill him. I can destroy
I'm sure
him right
he
now.
is.
And the more gods you slay, the more powerful I will become.
Is what is the status of Arcason at the moment? Is he dead? Is he vanished? Or
You look to where Akason was, and you see basically a frail carcass of a man that is just lying on the ground, not moving in any way. There's no blood, there's no guts, there's just...
So there's nothing notable left of him, so to speak.
Yeah, basically think about a Draugr. Something like that. It's not a skeleton yet. It has some flesh on it, but yes. You hear a voice of a void dragon behind you. It's just like, oh, something got out. This never happened before. And you just got smaller. And what was this god thing that you were yelling about?
By the way, does Agrita still has this gauntlet with him?
What
Yeah,
gauntlet?
he should.
Oh,
which,
the thing that you destroyed, so it wouldn't intervene with talking with your sword, yes?
Not a gauntlet. He destroyed a bracelet. And
Yeah.
gauntlet
Yeah.
he still has with him, I think.
I think you destroyed
thing
both.
was there
No,
I mean,
no.
well, it doesn't matter because he would do now if he would still have it. So, I mean,
Yeah,
he still had
good.
it when he threw the thing into the sword into the void. But well, it doesn't matter for now.
Yes, doesn't matter. Now you have the thing. And yeah, Dalen, as you are being picked up from the ground by your trusty panther, you hear her voice in your mind. It's just like, here we go again with the sword.
Good old times.
I hope it's, he's not as stupid as before. Now.
So,
Listen, he's godlike.
yes. The Void Dragon is intrigued by what happened. And the sword wants to destroy everything and everyone. So, what do you do, Agrita?
He turns to the sword.
Do we need more power? We can get more power. There are many gods.
Yes, we need more power. But I can already feel that we have enough. Just the two of us. We can take down the old father. Nothing is going to stop us. Nothing. Not even this pesky elf.
Yes, he won't do anything. Come in our way. He wouldn't dare. So let's do this. We waited long enough. I'm sorry to left you.
Don't worry. Everything's gonna be good.
Now is the time for us. We will prevail.
We will. And yeah, Dalen, you see that, like
yes.
he's talking to the sword intensely.
I think during this conversation, you see how the scales of Agrita flare up in this reddish light, not a glow anymore like before.
Yep. So, Dalen.
We are in a hurry. Can we return back? Or are you going to talk to your sword till the end of the world? Let's go.
And
You retreat.
yeah, you hear the whispers from the sword. Is just like, the end is gonna come when I say so. Not sooner.
What is gonna come?
The end, because Dalen said, are you going to talk it until the end of the world? And the sword is just like, it's gonna come when I say so. So, yeah.
Agrita turns to Dalen.
You go. You tell the others to prepare. But I won't retreat anymore. The time of going back is over.
So, Dalen, what do you do?
Oh, I definitely shake my head. And then pat my panther and we teleport back.
Good. So you go back to the place outside of space and time.
Yeah.
You see everyone is just like latched towards a piece of cloth in front of the Fate Weaver. And when you appear, everybody just looks at you and just... What are we gonna do?
Well, I was a bit afraid of it.
A bit afraid?
Every time, yeah.
And
well,
Kojo
you know,
is just like sitting in the corner. He just like sits down and is just like, okay, so we had one crazy powerful old father who wanted to kill everyone in the pursuit of his own ignorance. And now we have another one who's a crazy powerful who wants to do the same thing. Lovely. Nice spending time with you, but I guess I'm gonna stick around and not leave this place, at least for some inexorbitant amount. Did anyone grab any cards, by any chance?
Well, I guess the way we should think about is how those both powerful things like Allfather and the Sword destroy each other and leave us without both problems.
Nirnak kind of comes up to you and says, well, I'd hate to break it to you, but the sword on its own is basically as powerful as the Allfather. But you add Egretar to that, and plus the energy of two gods, well, it might just tip the scales. At least he has a legit chance of killing him and not dying in the process, but even if he does, the sword would be too powerful. Anyone who would just as much as touch it would get under its control, and it's going to use it as a puppet.
I was afraid of that as well.
We were looking through the weave, mostly. So, the fun thing is that you do have allies in shapes of dragons. Unfortunately, while you were talking with this void dragon, the Allfather did destroy your general friend, and the dryads and the entirety of the grove, which was unfortunate. But the Elven Maiden is still alive and is guarded by a dragon friend, as well as the purple dragon that is hunting some fish in the lake.
Really?
Not sure if that would be enough, but that's something. There's also Notfarius, but I'm not sure we can get him out. It will be difficult. He's guarded by 3 other guards.
I turned to
I couldn't help it out.
Yeah. No. No. Blizzard. Okay. I turned to other gods and looking probably mostly at Heracles and
Yes.
all the ones close to him, and
Okay.
I say, would you guys help me to free Nefarius, and we can join our forces with him? I think he would be a very nice support to us all.
They look about each other. Heraclius steps forward, puts his clenched fist on his chest and says, I would join this valiant cause. Nirnak steps to the side and says, well, I would do my best to provide you with knowledge if you need. Rubilon basically jumps on the shoulders of Heraclius and just like, let's burn someone! And Kojo, quite agilely, springs back on his feet and just like, well, we're all gonna die anyway, so let's just have some fun.
So thank you, friends, for your support. I'll not forget it. Let's do this.
All right.
Could you please show us where Nefarious is right now? I just don't know.
The Fate Weaver changes the picture, and you see as Nefarious is being crudely put apart by various pieces. And of course, you do know that he would get reattached. Like, that's the nature of his godhood. Like, they can't kill him. That's impossible, literally. But it would bring him a lot of pain. So yes, like, he's in pain.
That's the same spot Ekrota and Denden saw him before?
Yes.
Okay.
So there are some guards guarding him?
Yes,
Can we
2
see
gods of death and 1 god of torture, to be precise.
The god of death I spoke with during my death, my time.
Oh, right, yeah, you were that one time.
Yes.
You spoke with the death,
The gatekeeper.
not the god of
Yeah.
death. Those are
Okay.
different things.
Okay.
Oh yeah, right. True.
So, are you
So-
jumping back in there?
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to. The plan is the following: as soon as we jump in, I try to gather all the parts of Nefarious and then teleport it in one big bunch of piles back. And while you try to stop the guards from stopping me.
All
And,
right.
you teleport back.
All right. So they stop the other gods, and you pack Nefarious into small, tiny pieces and teleport them back.
Yeah.
Nice plan. Let's see how it works. You go back in there. Immediately, the 2 gods of death spring to the side. Heraclius wrestles one to the ground. Nearnak points a finger on the other one and just says something. You don't know what he said, and the god of death is just like, but that's unfair! And then he's tackled by Rubilon, who is constantly producing flames into his face. The god of torture turns towards you, Danelan, as you're trying to collect the pieces of Nefarious, and he's just like, "No, I am not done playing with him!" And the shadow basically appears behind the guy, and he's getting snatched back by Kojo, and he's just like, "Let me show you some darkness." And yes, mostly they are occupied at the moment, but you have a limited amount of time to act. So let's see if you can beat 12 dexterity.
Whew.
And
You're the Dexter.
oof,
Wow.
oof,
Intense.
oof,
Wow.
oof, oof, oof. All right, boy. I'm not sure if you got money, but something's gonna pay for that. There's a bargain. Oof,
Wow.
oof. So do you want to be in a really bad spot? Do you?
No, I think I really want to save this Nefarious. I like him, so I am accepting.
You're taking it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good, you're taking it. So, what happens is, you collect the Nefarious in various pieces. Then you cast the teleport. As these pieces are getting out, you yourself are getting clenched by the leg by another god, and your teleport fails, and you see as 2 of your friends are gone, is Nearnak and Kojo. There's only 1 god of death left. You and Heraclius are there to oppose him. Rubelon is trying to do something. And of course, what she's trying to do is to burn him. But since he's right next to you, she also burns you. You kinda topple a little bit. Your Panther is right there. She tried to help you. You topple over her. Then Heracles was running from the side. He tried to tackle the guy who was on the ground, but now you're on the ground, so he scrambles over you. And Rubelon just jumps on top of you and tries to do something. And it's a big mishmash of everything. And as you just basically beat the shit out of this last god of death, you try to figure out like what's happening, and it's just like, one moment is silent, you just like collect yourself, and just like Heracles puts a hand on Rubelon's shoulder and just like, just next time a bit less of fire, all right? And I
tend to agree.
She puts a hand on your shoulder, Danelan, and it's just like, it's fine, I was helping him. And
thank you.
The Panther puts its paw on Heracles' shoulder, and it's just like, I'm not sure we should do this. We should really get back. And then you feel as your other shoulder is getting touched as well. And on Heracles' shoulder there's another hand. And you hear a familiar booming voice. It's like, but why should you? I think we have things to talk about. And there's the old father.
I looked exactly at his eyes.
Meanwhile, Agratar, what do? You've been standing there talking with a sword next to a void dragon.
It isn't really not my intention to metagame this, but I actually had the idea to go to Nefarious too, because there are, at the knowledge of Agratar, 3 or 4? 3 gods?
3, yes. Oh, completely easy. Like, we can say what you did if you want to, and like, tell me your intention. Your intention is to kill everything when you get there, basically. Yes.
Yeah, I mean like a side goal would be that Nefarious gets out of this situation, but
that's just optional.
Agratar is...
Let's get real. Yeah, that's optional.
Because primarily, despite the words of the sword, Agratar knows, he trusts the sword, that it's powerful enough, but Agratar is the god of war, and he knows more power is always better.
Yeah,
because
always
you can
better.
overcome a foe more easily. So
exactly, not breaking a sweat.
And two gods of pain and a god of death is easy prey. So
we can just like easily just put the thing once again, and that's Agratar's fight. That's a bit different. But what you find when you get there, you find that Heracles is fighting one god of war, god of death. The other god of death is tackled by Rubelon, and Kojo takes the god of pain into the darkness in order to fight him there. The easiest of preys would be the one that Heracles tackled away, Neonag, because nobody is looking at him, and of course Kojo and the god of pain in the bushes. concealed away from everyone. What do you do?
In the bushes? He's literally in a bush?
Basically, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's pure cowardice. It might be the first.
Okay.
I mean, hiding away when others are fighting, that's no way. That's not how it goes.
Sure. Like, fighting in the bushes, bad. Gotcha.
You coward.
Okay.
Was a last mistake.
So you move in there. You find him trying to beat the shit out of God of Pain. As you see, the guy wants to say something as his mouth is being mushed by Kojo. And he points a finger. Basically, he sees you, but he's on the ground and he's being beaten, so he's not able to speak. He points a finger. Kojo is almost about to turn. Like, what do you do?
How far away am I?
You maybe 2 meters away from him.
I'll launch at him, kill the guy, stab him through the head.
So you want to stab Kojo through the head, yes?
Oh, at first, the guy on below him.
Below him.
God of Pain.
Okay,
Like
sure. Stab him. With your strength, I take it. Lovely. But it's not a normal move, so we'll just say, let me see. So, as far as I can remember, your damage is D10, yes?
Yeah, normal damage, yeah.
Okay. You remember the rules about the sword, yes?
Yeah, count the people
Yes.
in the area.
So roll me a D10 on that damage. Ooh!
Nice.
Ooh! You lucky bastard! Alright! Alright! Just one single strike ends the life of this poor fellow. This god of torture. He's not even a god of death. He's just like, I'm kinda next to you. I just want to be around guys. And he's just like, pierce his flesh. You suck out his god essence, and it goes straight into the sword, and you feel like it's getting mightier in your hand. Kojo notices what you did. What's your next step?
Denlin is frozen.
No. We'll get to you. It's happening at the same time as everything else. So you done your part.
Okay.
Now,
with this skill and battle, Aktar takes in a split second a look around who's looking where and who's doing what. Is there someone
split second.
looking at the two of them?
Rubilon just throws away the other god of death as he flies a couple of hundred meters into the air, and she basically launches after him and continuously burns him. Heraclius gives a couple of hefty punches, but then pushes him to side. Nirnak takes the guy, gives another swing, and basically Heraclius and Nirnak are pushing one of the gods of death. Basically, one hit, it goes to Heraclius, another hit, it goes to Nirnak. The other one is flying in the air and is being roasted by Rubilon. You understand, as a pretty good strategist, that sides are about to get turned a little bit, because gods of death are quite good, but they just didn't expect that to happen. And you see Danelan through the bushes a little bit. He's collecting the pieces of Naltharius.
That might be a sign.
The most peaceful guy in this scene.
So yes,
in this case, Eldar wants to rush to the God of Death. Heraclius and Yannick are pushing around.
Okay.
I mean, he doesn't want to hit one of them because they are, so to speak, allies. But well, if they are in the way, he would push through them.
Okay, good.
To
so you want to kill him? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Roll me the attack. Let's see.
Oh, sorry, that was the wrong.
Yeah, that was wrong.
That was
This one is good. Now the damage. I would be fair. I'll let you reroll. So yes. Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
That's plain done.
So what happens is, as the God of Death is being pushed to Nirnak, Nirnak gives him a hefty punch. He goes very far, but you manage to reach him and slightly change his momentum. So he basically brazes over Heraclius. Heraclius loses sight of what's happening. You go past him. He doesn't notice you immediately. You slash the God of Death. Nirnak jumps to basically help. He doesn't know what's happening at the moment. You slash him as well. Kojo tries to reason with you. You slash him as well. Then the other God of Death basically pushes Rubelon to the ground. She falls down. Heraclius jumps towards her in order to protect her. As the other God of Death is going down, you slash through the air as you did before, attacking at a distance with your sword, slash him to bits, and then you notice the presence of other gods. They are just basically trying to circle you, or among them, of course, you do notice the All-Father. You rush towards them. You slush free of them. The others are trying to teleport all around you. And basically, the next couple of minutes, you spend trying to slash through them as your sword is getting more and more powerful. And I'm just crossing the names. I'm just crossing the names out of here. So, fun fact, when all's said and done, and Danelan hears and sees the All-Father, like Danelan, you, Rubelon, Heraclius, and your Panther are there. You are sitting on top of what you think is the alive God of Death, but now that you check it, it's not. And the All-Father's right next to you. What do you do?
I looked to his eyes, as I said.
Yes, great. What next?
And what do you want to talk about?
Good question.
Yeah, he
Good.
wants to
Reasonable.
talk about something.
Good question.
Why else you should be here, alright?
Yeah. And he just like slightly raises his hand as you see Heraclius kind of tenses up, and Rubelon is also like on edge, as your Panther is on edge as well. And he just casually points you to the left and says, "That's why." And you look there, and what you see is a gruesome scene of Agrata just slashing through the air. You see several dead gods at his feet, and he's just slashing madly with his black blade. And you almost hear the maddening whispers from the sword as it craves more and more power. And there's almost an aura of blackness around Agratar. Some of the gods try to fight him with various energy beams and things that they could create and just toss at him. It just bounces off that darkness. Some of it even gets absorbed. And once again, there comes a realization, Danelan. Your friend is not really well. And once again, there's this weary tension that goes on as you see that his blade is about to reach one of your very well-known compadres in god business, so to speak. That's a god of forest. That's just the tree guy. Like he's just a tree, walking tree, and he watches over forest. He doesn't do that much, but he's not that fast. Not as fast as Agratar, definitely. And he's about to be chopped down.
Literally.
And you see that looming threat, that slash, that it's going to reach him. You know that, even though you're not as good as Agratar at calculating momentums and being a good warrior, but you know a good swing when you see it. You look at it. What do you do?
I teleport back.
Okay.
You do what?
Teleport to where Necfarious is.
Oh.
I believe he's already safe, right?
Okay. Do you
or at least
do you take everyone else with you?
Yeah, I definitely try if I can.
Okay, who do you take?
I take Heracles with me. Who else is still alive? Koju is dead, right?
Rubelon is there, your Panther is there, and the Old Father is there.
I guess I take all of them if they follow me.
Did one take the All-Father to the right?
Yeah.
To the...
Okay.
Did you tell him that?
So you do the teleport, and he doesn't resist it. Probably he figured out that you were doing something like that. And then, as this happens, you return to the place beyond space and time. The dragon, Jormungandr, just looks at you. One of his heads slightly turns to the side and is like, "Is that the guy we're supposed to get? Okay. Hello."
Oh.
And yes, the Old Father kind of turns his palm sideways, swings it a little bit, and just says, "Enough with false pretenses. I don't care if you like me or not. The only thing I do care is that thing." And he points at the newly weaved parchment, and you see the same thing that you just saw, Dalen. You see the sword mid-swing, about to reach your comrade. Well, he's not really your friend, but you just know the guy. He's just a usual guy. He's just a tree. Why would you do that?
Yeah, Daniel knows this feeling. A lot of death around, and he don't like it at all. And especially if it touches anyone who is close to the nature.
Exactly.
You remember the cute squirrel you smushed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sad,
so cute.
sad squirrel.
Can I see parts of the Nectarios lying on the ground?
You see that they're trying to reassemble themselves. Like, it's not easy. You could probably speed up the process.
Yeah, I definitely like to do this.
Okay. You jump down to him. Several moments pass as your life energy helps him to reattach. And he kind of collects himself. And just like, oh, that was weird. Very weird. Oh, let's not do that again, okay? And he looks to the side and he sees the Olfa and just like, ah! And the Allfather frowns and puts his hand cross on his chest and just like, save it. You know, linger. Just save it. I don't care. Look what you've done! And he points to a piece of cloth in front of the Fate Weaver. Nothfarius squints his eyes, rubs them, and just like, but why? What's happening? Why would he? You tossed the sword into the void, didn't you? He turns to you, Danelan.
Yes, we did, but then we found that there is a prophecy that someone should take the Allfather place, and he resisted it. I point to Allfather, and he, I point to Agrota, wants a weapon against him, and he, I point to Berenvor, told this weapon can kill Allfather, so we come for this weapon and saved it from a void. And now he, I point to Agrota, is mad and killing everyone around. So we should deal with this somehow.
Because you made a promise.
And this guy is the most evil one. I point to Allfather, because he created this sin, and now all the mess is because of this.
You look at the Allfather, and he kind of turns his palm a little bit to the side, and you see like a holographic image, like a small planet assemble itself, and then it starts to swirl around the sun, and then more planets. And then it starts to form into what starts to resemble a galaxy. And he's just like, oh, yes, I'm the most evil. I've done this. Very bad of me. What have you done? God of nature? Planted some trees? And he clenches his fist as the image of the galaxy goes away.
Did you just destroy?
No, only the illusion. The hologram. I guess.
And the old father smirks as he looks at you and says, "How would you know? You never created one."
I'll have a chance to do this as soon as I take your place.
Oh,
And you'll
really?
see.
You want to take my place? And how you do that? Huh? The only way to kill me is to get that sword. You want to try? Jump back in.
I don't want to kill anyone, I just want
Oh, that's why you're not
You
jumping in there. You're so good
pass.
that you don't want to harm anyone. Or maybe you're just a coward who doesn't want to die. Huh?
I just want you to pass your power to me peacefully.
Pass power? Are you an idiot? Power is not passed. Power is taken. You've been immortal too long.
I take a lot of wise things from a mortal life. You should try someday as well.
Soon there would be no life. Because of you and your ignorance. Why do you think I made you do those quests? I had to show you that this is a thing that is not supposed to be wielded by anyone. But no.
Why you asked to create this? This poor guy, I point to Baron War, created it, and you forced him to make it even more powerful. Why you do this?
Because I needed power.
And this is your power? I point to the parchment on the wall.
He looks at the parchment and he says, "This is the other side of it." So, since you brought me here, what's your plan?
As you all know, I am against of deaths and against of unnecessary force to be.
Stop the preaching already.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the best way not to kill every god and not to destroy the world and stop this madness. I point to the parchment.
Yeah, sure. Let's start from the simple things then. How do you plan on stopping him at all?
What is the source of power of the sword?
What do you mean?
I mean, originally it was created of something, so it's take his power from something. What is the source of
It
this
doesn't
power?
take power from anything. Oh, good grief. You don't know how anything works, do you? If you want to create power, you need to balance it. First you have nothing. Then you gain some energy. And then you reject some negative energy. Most of the power I have is concentrated. It's pure light. This thing, and he points to the sword, is pure darkness. So, what's your plan?
How you reject the darkness?
What do you mean, Do I have to explain to you everything? This guy made the sword. I did the process. That's the only thing you need to know. Now, if you're such a useless coward, I would just grab you by your shoulders and throw you back in there so your friend can chop your head off.
I think we should discuss a plan how to stop the sword.
Oh, really?
Not letting you to destroy the world like you're doing during last days.
Destroy the world? I burned a few villages, couple of forests. You think that's the world?
It's a lot of it.
You're a god of nature who can't save a squirrel.
Yeah.
What are you lecturing me for? I'm the old father. I created that thing. All of it.
And now you'll see how everyone falls apart and do nothing.
I'm not doing nothing. Listen, everyone. And he just turns his gaze away from you, looks at Heracles, Rubelon, Ludin, and the dragons. This one here doesn't have any idea on how to deal with any problems. I understand that maybe his speeches could be arousing, and hating me could be interesting. But I'm the only one who knows what to do. So, if you once again join me and pledge your allegiance, I would spare you, and we together would take our world back from this. And he points at the picture of Agrata. If we are united, the other gods would know that there's no rebellion, and there's only one madman armed with a powerful weapon. Together we should overtake him, separate him from the weapon, and destroy.
Do you know the way how to do this exactly?
Of course I do. I'm the old father.
But what were you waiting for while this sword was inside the dragon?
And Rubelon is just like,
I just... not dying is good, but I just want to talk about those pesky fire goddesses, okay? They're not fiery enough. Everyone knows that. Everyone. And they don't even have scales.
the old father kind of face palms and just like, this again. Oh, good grief. I told you 100 times, Omelon. The different cultures want different gods. They don't want to worship the lizard women because they're not lizard men.
But who cares about them? They're mortals.
Oh, good grief.
Like, if you just promise to destroy all the other fire goddesses and make me the only one, only a moron would promise that. But... Just stop it, alright? Stop your childish, flamboyant things and just listen to me. I told you how things work. I made those things work. Just kneel down, pledge your allegiance, and then, together, we'll end it.
I guess Denlon is looking at this parchment and all the gods lying around dead. And at the Agrata, who is probably wielding this sword with dark power in his eyes. And imagine all this picture, he probably very shocked of what he did to help this happen. And I think he now wants to reach to the old father to help to stop it at any costs.
Okay.
Wow.
As all of that happens, the atmosphere is getting basically more and more musky and eerie. You see the gazes of your Panther, Heraclius, Luden, the dragon, not Farius. They're just waiting, looking at you. What do you do, Danelin?
I turn to old father and say, I see we did different wrong things on the way that probably we thought it was originally good for the world, and we were maybe misguided by this prophecy. Maybe this is a prophecy created by demons originally. So I think we were wrong, and now I am on your side and on your will. And I advise everyone to follow me to stop this madness. And I turn back to the parchment.
Okay. So I take it you kneel as well, yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. So as soon as you do it, everyone else follows suit, including the dragon. The old father nods approvingly and looks, along with everyone else, onto the parchment as we zoom in on the blade and everything goes to darkness. Good game.
Wow.
Wow, it was crazy.
Good game.
Damn. Damn.
Well, Agrata, why you do this?
What did you expect?
We can be gods. God of gods. Oh, anyway, it can be only one, like in Thailand.
Maybe.
I mean, it's not about ruling, right? It's about madness, and
Sure.
power.
Sure it is. Of course it is.
Doesn't want to.
Like, exactly. We need that.
Yeah, I feel the bad scenes always about the sword and how it corrupts poor lizard.
Yeah, very poor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
not as poor as the squirrel, but well.
Not mention this. Oh, it's just collateral damage.
Yeah, of course. That's what that gods are, right?
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I didn't ask for this. At
I
least
don't
not actively.
mean this.
Uh,
Oh.
Collateral damage. That's
Well, yeah.
how it goes.
yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. War is a nasty business, doesn't
He doesn't know that.
No, I'm not sure.
it? Yeah. You didn't really participate in any.
But
Yes.
I'm sure he's about to participate in at least
Yeah.
one.
Mm.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. So let me count it again. So 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So your kill count at the moment is so 2 in there plus 1 and another 10. So 13 so far. So
Wow.
13 god kills. Lovely. Yeah.
You can make scratches on the sword, I believe.
I mean, nobody will see the scratches on a black sword, right?
With
No,
this skill.
No, not really. No.
Maybe I make scratches in my helm when I'm done with.
Yeah, basically. But metaphorically speaking, he gets enough power to understand that the other god is dead, so he knows how many. It's fine.
Sword knows it too, so
Yeah, exactly.
don't worry about that.
They're good. Like, don't worry about them. They're good. They're doing their thing. But yes, like, I do hope you come up with something. Or what you're gonna resort to is to be just an errand boy for the old father. It's just like he would be just telling you what to do and just do it. But yes,
If that is what you want,
Yeah,
then
if that's
I
what you
to be a
want.
slave.
yeah, it's obvious. That's fine. Yeah, you can do
Don't
it.
play with me,
I
you
don't know.
lizard.
I'm serious. You
But-
once were a free man and a free half man, half elf. Look at you now, bowing, kneeling in the dirt, eating dust, licking the shoes of an old farmer.
Oh, you're too empowered by this evil darkness around you. I don't listen to you. Blah, 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 blah.
Good.
God escape your fate, Denland.
Good.
I guess what is fate we were thinking about everything around him.
That
Is
would
he
be
some
that would be a lovely
in
question.
charge of fate or just following it?
That would be a lovely question.
Maybe he had a bet running with the other god of fate, weaver of fate.
Me.
There's a gentleman's club of fate weavers, and they make bets on the gods once in a while.
Well, it's going to be interesting because I think
think we're going there. We're going to the PvP land.
Yeah, that's exactly.
We're going there, and we're gonna see what happens.
I'm afraid, yes. Yeah.
We have only one moment of PvP during all the sessions, I think, when the Xeus confront the the sword and.
Oh yeah, we had that.
Yeah.
Yes. A little bit,
I mean, he asked for it.
obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no, he might still live as a slave to the demons.
You should not technically.
Not
because
really.
You're wrong for it.
Maybe his carcass would be a nice silly putty for the demons.
Yeah, exactly.
They would make figurines out of it.
Well,
Maybe.
enough for the children demons.
Yeah, sure. Children demons. That's a thing.
Yeah, we'll see. Probably we can somehow call for something still not dark inside Agrota. But
I mean, he's a reasonable guy, yeah? You can talk to him.
Yeah, why not? He was talking to a dragon, now dragon would
Yeah,
talk
right.
to him.
Very reasonable.
What about diplomacy?
Yeah, good diplomacy.
Just want to roll good on charisma.
Sure. Like, that's gonna help against the player. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you can try.
20 out of 2d6.
It's just like you roll it and you just double sixes and Agrota is just like, no! I feel compelled by the dice! No!
God, this is
Yeah, maybe
throwing
we
me
have
into the
some,
game.
maybe we have some dice made by Baron War. So
God, yeah.
Sure.
Baron War is one of the Roll20 developers.
It's canon now, it's good.
become very interesting. What can we get from the next session? I think the next one, we missed the next one because David is out.
Oh yeah.
Upcoming Friday, yeah, I have
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
go. I'm out.
preparing his sword.
Yeah,
polishing
he's
it
gonna
and
be
so
just
on.
sharpening his sword, and Dalen is gonna be just thinking about ways to avoid being killed. Probably.
Yeah, at least I can see this sword vs bow, maybe, but it's too powerful now.
Sure. But
you
yeah.
you can ask Baron War to go first.
Yeah, that's gonna help.
Ask for the sword, maybe.
That's gonna help.
Yeah,
Obviously.
it's mine. Can you give it back? Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe.
Well,
we'll see about that, I guess.
Yeah. Anyways, a good game, folks. Did not
Yeah,
expect
good
things
game.
to turn this way, but they did, and it's interesting. It's definitely
absolutely.
interesting.
This-
So I guess we'll
Okay.
see what happens in the next series.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So until the next time.
Oh, next 2 weeks. Let me check it. Next 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Yes.
What date it is?
Something
Oh,
not important.
30th.
third. Oh, third is okay.
It's
Maybe
yeah,
I'll
it's good.
be
It's good.
Yeah, we'll see.
second.
Everything's
third,
good.
third.
Everything's good.
Yeah, I'll be out on 9th of March.
Don't worry about it. I'm sure
Second
you're
to
gonna
ninth.
make it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna
Yeah.
be good.
Okay.
But yeah,
Fate.
boom.
Fate, then.
Fate. Always.
Yeah.
Always.